Alrighty, I think we're live here. Hey guys, maybe you're in 20 back again with an unexpected live stream. Now this is going to be a little different. I'm not really going to be responding to too much of the chat. This is literally going to be my live reaction to Karl Jobst's newest video that he uploaded, I believe, late last night. I've been getting messages all day telling me about this video. So please forgive me as far as the chat goes. I'm not going to be very active responding to messages because I highly anticipate trolls coming into the chat and saying a bunch of vulgar things, which is why I don't even have the chat activated on the actual video. Sure, you can still read the chat below, but I will be responding to if someone asks me a question through a donation. Obviously, I will respond to that just because that's the least I could do. But yeah, that's the only way I'm going to be responding to anything. So without further ado, let's see if we, okay, yeah, we are live. Okay, okay. All right, we're good to go. All right, mic check 1, 2, good to go. All right, wish me luck. We're going to go ahead and watch this train wreck. People tell me it's bad. So people have been telling me it's bad. Just a little backstory. For those of you that do not know, if you're new to the channel, Billy Mitchell has been in a lawsuit with Twin Galaxies. He's got one going on with Karl Jobst as well in the future. And there's been a long saga. You can check my channel for the updates, but it's getting in the thick of things here. They're actually about ready to go to court. So I'm just going to shut up. We're going to watch this video because I just been really getting blown up all day. So let's go ahead and do that. All right. All right, here we go. Here we go. Alrighty. Again, I will not be responding to like any of the chat. So I do apologize. I don't want anybody to think like I'm ignoring them, okay? Especially like my subscribers and stuff. I don't want people thinking I'm ignoring you because I'm not ignoring you. I'm only responding to questions through super chat. I can't even see the regular chat, just so you know. So just throwing that out there, guys. I'm not being rude. This is supposedly a very serious video that Karl made, and we're just going to go ahead and start it right now.
Hello, you absolute legends. Back in January, I made a video talking about the infamous red joystick, where new photos emerged that confirmed Billy Mitchell, video game player of the century, was playing on a modified machine. For those out of the loop, Billy Mitchell claims to have achieved the Donkey Kong World Record at a mortgage brokers convention in 2007, and contends that he achieved the world record on original hardware, and he is suing Twin Galaxies, the most well-known record-keeping organization, because they claim that Billy didn't play on original hardware and removed his world records. The photos were huge news because it showed so concretely that Billy wasn't truthful. It was just so easy to understand. You didn't need to know any technical details. You just needed to know that an original joystick is black and not red, and playing on modified hardware was against the rules. Well, here's a secret. Twin Galaxies had these photos since 2020, 3 years before that video was made. And yes, even I knew about these photos as well. But the photos were kept secret, ensuring that Billy never knew the photos existed. Twin Galaxies was waiting silently, waiting patiently, until the time was right to unleash the photos onto the world. And that time was during Billy Mitchell's deposition. It was critical that up until his deposition, Billy did not know that Twin Galaxies knew that the joystick was red. This would ensure that Billy would fall into any traps that Twin Galaxies might lay, and lay traps they did. You see, the lawyer for Twin Galaxies is very smart, and Billy is, well, Billy. Need I say more? And let's just say that Billy was outmatched and outwitted. Billy had no idea what was...
Okay, I want to pause it right there because one thing that Karl has done through his entire like Billy Mitchell series that, I mean, something I would never do, I think it's unprofessional, is he's actually showing like the lawyer's information, like the law firm. He's been doing it to Billy Mitchell like for a long time. Like he's been showing Billy Mitchell's lawyer and like saying, look at this lawyer, he's a liar, this, and this. Like slandering his lawyer. And to be fair, you know, just to, you know, be transparent, it looks like he just showed off Twin Galaxies lawyer as well. So It's not like he's just picking one side. He actually did just expose Twin Galaxy's lawyer too, which is very, very interesting, I might say. So
Coming, and Billy fell face first into one of the biggest self-dug holes I've ever seen. You are about to receive a masterclass in how to question a pathological liar, and you are about to witness one of the greatest moments in deposition history. You are going to love this, and I cannot wait to show you. Now, legends, in this video I've partnered with...
And for people that I see, there's people still coming into the live stream right now. If you just got here and you think I'm ignoring the chat, I am not ignoring the chat at all. I can't even see the chat right now. I don't have the overlay. I can't see the chat. So I'm not going to respond. So if there's, I do this on purpose because we just assume that trolls are going to come in and say a bunch of vulgar things. So to combat that, I'm not even going to acknowledge any of the chat. So my normal people who are here watching, I apologize. I'm not ignoring the chat. If someone actually wants to ask me a question, you're going to have to do that through Super Chat. And that's to get rid of the trolls, because we all know there ain't no trolls donating here. So let's go ahead and move on.
With Geology, who offer award-winning skin, hair, and body products. Honestly, there is absolutely no excuse. Everyone should be taking good care of themselves, and Geology will have you looking and smelling your very best. Trust me, people can tell, and if you look and smell good, people will treat you better. Personally, my skin is super oily, so I need to use Geology's everyday face wash or my face looks gross. And I use their nourishing eye cream because I get massive black eyes from not getting enough sleep. But I also recently started using their body wash and deodorant.
I will say this too, like the sponsors that he gets, like it's so weird to me that there's actually companies out there that are willing to put their product in a video, like a smear campaign, basically, like drama videos. Like that's one thing I never understood about like most drama channels. I guess I'll give Karl that, because most of the drama channels that I've seen, like, Drama Alert, Keemstar, stuff like that, you don't really see sponsored ads in the middle of the videos, but Karl somehow seems to get sponsored ads in the, like, he actually, he's making money doing this. And there's actually companies that are willing to put their product on a drama video, which is, I find very, very odd. So let's just move on.
And they smell incredible. I used to just use random sports deodorants, but Geology products seriously smell amazing in comparison. There is a good reason they have over 7,000 5-star reviews, and I really suggest
I'm not skipping anything.
Super simple.
I was going to just skip through this sponsorship, but I said I was going to watch the whole thing. We're just going to watch the whole thing. I don't want anyone thinking like I skipped anything.
And right now, for a limited time, if you use my code KarlJobst70, Geology will give you an exclusive 70% off their award-winning trial set. Plus, you can save up to 30% off a product you choose to add on top. It's a really good deal, so again, just click the link in the description. So the stage is set. Twin Galaxies knows the stick is red, but Billy doesn't know that Twin Galaxies knows this. The plan is to get Billy to lie and say the stick is black. Then, after he's already perjured himself, they can show the photos and prove the stick is red. But the way they do it is very strategic, and they slowly and methodically allow Billy to dig his hole without realizing what's happening. To begin, they ask general questions about what an original Donkey Kong arcade looks like. Notice how they don't go straight for the stick, instead making it seem like it's just a natural follow-on question, therefore not startling Billy.
What color is the cabinet?
Sometimes blue, usually blue, sometimes red.
And that's how you can tell it's an original Donkey Kong cabinet?
They're both original.
Okay, with the blue or red?
That is correct.
Okay.
I find it very fascinating that he has all this footage. It's nuts. It is so, it is crazy because this isn't like, I know someone said in my earlier video that it's like public domain or something about the lawyer situation, but this like actual like deposition and like testimonies and like this footage here, this is not public domain. This is not public. This is not available to the public at all. So clearly, I mean, we all know at this point that Karl has, connections with Twin Galaxy. They're basically working hand in hand at this point. So it's kind of not a secret at this point.
What color? How many buttons does it have?
1, 2, 3, and a joystick.
What color are the buttons?
You can make the buttons any color you want.
What about an original Donkey Kong? What color was
Blue and red.
and red? What about the joystick?
Black top.
I'm sorry?
Black top.
What does that mean?
Joystick, black top.
Is it always a black top?
Never seen anyone but black. Well, no, I have seen other ones. I've never played on one other than a black top.
What other color tops do they have?
White.
What other color aside from white?
I don't really think I've seen a color other than those. Not.
So white or black?
Yeah. Again, almost always black.
Billy has already taken the bait, confirming that an original joystick is almost always black and that he himself has never played on anything but a black joystick. Notice how the lawyer only asked what the color of the joystick could be, and didn't actually ask Billy if Billy had played on a joystick that wasn't black. This means that Billy was answering a question the lawyer didn't ask, which is a huge mistake. Any lawyer will tell you if you are in this position, it's critical to only answer the questions you're asked, and to avoid making statements that aren't necessary. But Billy loves to talk and just can't help himself. The first question about the color of the joystick was 50 minutes into the deposition, and the next time it would be brought up again would be a full 1 hour and 20 minutes later. It's important when placing traps to space out questions so that the witness forgets what they've previously said and what questions they've previously answered. This also prevents the witness from knowing what the plan of the lawyer is. Now the lawyer for Twin Galaxies asks what the specific cabinet looked like in the mortgage broker's world record. Again, not going directly for the stick, but asking general questions beforehand and leading into it.
Was it a blue cabinet or a red cabinet?
It was, gee, good question. Yeah. I think it was blue, but it's a good question.
What about the color of the buttons? What color are they?
I don't remember anything being different than the usual blue, blue, red.
And then we talked a little bit about
I'm sorry, I don't know the color of the buttons.
What about the color of the joystick?
If it wasn't black, I wouldn't have played it.
Why is that?
Because the other joysticks are not real joysticks. They're not Donkey Kong joysticks.
They're not four-way joysticks?
They're not authentic joysticks.
They'd be something else?
Yeah, they'd be something either not from Nintendo or something I'm not familiar with playing.
Billy falls into the trap again, stating that he would never play with a joystick that wasn't black, and reiterating that a joystick that isn't black wouldn't be authentic. When you have a witness that is so easily being set up like this, you don't want to expose them too early. You want to milk them as much as possible. If you have someone like Billy who is so willing to lie about something that you can prove is not true, you want to allow him to lie many times to increase the damage. What's really fascinating is that Billy Mitchell defenders, and God knows how they still exist, will try to argue that the red joystick is original hardware, or that it's simply not an issue.
The stick is OEM red and black. Your video did not go into detail about how that stick was not an official stick.
Grasping at straws is what they're doing. Grasping at straws is what they're doing. Now they got a red joystick. Ooh, we got him now, boy. Ooh, we got a red joystick and we got him now. Oh, we got him right where we want him. Disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. Wow, man.
Unfortunately, they are either
there it
lying
is.
or misinformed.
That's what everyone wants
the
me to see, huh?
Being red is absolutely a problem and was against the rules. And not only was it against the rules, but it's modified hardware and therefore destroys Billy's lawsuit against Twin Galaxies, which hinges on his argument that he played on unmodified original hardware. And that's why Billy has no choice but to lie and say the joystick was black. Twin Galaxies continues to allow Billy to keep digging.
Oh, we got an ad.
This is a switch bike.
Look at that. He's just getting paid and paid, huh?
If the buttons were incorrect, would that make it? Would that make the arcade machine non-authentic?
Objection.
If you know.
Vague as to incorrect and causes speculation. But you're talking about the color or the?
Yeah, the color.
The color?
Yeah.
No, the color is
Like if there are
irrelevant.
purple buttons, would that make it a non-authentic machine?
No. If it wasn't what we call a plunger button or a Nintendo button, plunger button's a better word,
Right.
then that would be incorrect, I guess.
And then
Okay, I'm gonna pause it there. That's another thing. Like, I don't understand because parts wear out over time. Clearly, the Donkey Kong arcade machine is from the '80s, so it's gonna wear out. Parts are gonna wear out. The buttons are gonna wear out. Joysticks are gonna wear out, and you're gonna have to like replace those. And sometimes they're different colors as far as like the buttons and stuff. Doesn't mean like it's not up to code or up to the standard. But you are going to have to replace certain parts and components on a machine through wear and tear. So I'm so confused by like the button question because I've seen different colored buttons on arcade cabinets just because they wear out over time. And I guess you could paint them to make them match, but some arcade owners are just lazy and they just kind of have them fixed and they don't really repaint them, but I don't know. Let's just move on.
and if it wasn't either a black or white joystick, would that make it a non-authentic machine?
No, it's a four-way joystick.
Mm-hmm.
The ball on top is almost always black.
Mm-hmm.
Very rarely have I seen anything else. If it wasn't black, then I wouldn't have played it.
I've seen
why would
blue
you play it?
before. I've seen a
Because
blue
it would be
joystick.
a different feel. When I say that when I express it confidently, it's just that I know I would have ran away from it if it was something different.
It's incredible how easily Billy is manipulated into lying. Billy is overcompensating here, elaborating on questions the lawyer isn't asking, and the hole that he is digging just keeps getting deeper and deeper. Now that Billy has already established the joystick should be black and that he would never play on it if it wasn't black, we now want to focus our attention to the color red. We know the joystick was red, so we want to ask Billy directly what he would do if he encountered a red joystick. However, the lawyer again doesn't go straight to the color red, instead asking about other colors first.
If I showed you a photo of the machine with a purple joystick, would that be the machine that you played on?
No.
Definitely not. What about a green joystick? Would that be the machine you played on?
I remember it being black.
Okay. What if it was a red joystick? Would that be the machine you played on?
I remember it being black.
But what if it was a red joystick?
Objection. Explanation calls for speculation. It's you're asking him.
That is a weird question.
The joystick
He hasn't seen the
says
photo
is black
yet, so he
was
doesn't
red?
really know
Yeah,
what you're
then?
up to.
Yeah,
It
what's
doesn't
that?
make any sense. Are you asking whether he would have played the machine?
Yeah, would you
if
have
it had
played the
a-
machine then? If it was a red joystick?
No. I would have made him change it to black.
Did that happen?
It was black.
This is amazing. After this lawsuit ends, Billy absolutely needs to become a shovel salesman because the rate at which he is digging this hole is impressive. What's incredible is that Billy's lawyer is objecting to the questions about the joystick being red simply because Billy said the joystick was black. This might be considered badgering the witness because the lawyer is asking questions that conflict with what the witness has already testified to being the truth. But knowing the truth, it's completely reasonable for Twin Galaxies to repeatedly ask about the red joystick. The lawyer claims the question makes no sense, and if Billy were telling the truth, the question wouldn't make sense. It only makes sense because Billy is lying.
What if it was a red joystick? Would that be the machine you played on?
I remember it being black.
But what if it was a red joystick?
Objection. Explanation calls for speculation. It's you're asking him if the joystick he.
Okay, so I see where this is going. I see like, and by the way, if anyone's commenting, because we are getting a lot more people coming into the chat, it's like doubled since last time I looked. If anyone's leaving a comment, I can't even see it, to be honest with you. So, I apologize. I do that on purpose because I'm sure there's a lot of trolls in the chat right now, and I can't see any of it. And I'm only responding to questions through Super Chat. That's all I'm doing. So, all right. So here we go. We're going to move. I'm assuming they're about to show him the photo. I mean, obviously we can see where this is going. They're setting him up to keep saying, if it was black, I wouldn't have played it. And then they're going to be like, boom, here it is. So I'm assuming it's coming up here.
Says his black was red.
Yeah.
What then?
Yeah,
It
what's
doesn't
that?
make any sense. Are you asking whether he would have played the machine?
Yeah, would you
if
have
it had
played the
a-
machine then? If it was a red joystick?
No.
By this point, Billy has dug a hole straight through to China, and is now just oscillating back and forth between the two opposite sides of the Earth. It's finally time to unleash the photos. But again, this must be done strategically, and in a way that doesn't startle the cornered animal. So first, we show a picture of the cabinet with the stick hidden behind a human barrier, so that Billy can't see it. We want to get Billy to confirm the cabinet is the one he played on, without letting him know the color of the joystick.
I'm going to now show you Exhibit G, a picture of Mr. Mitchell with Todd Rogers at the Florida Association of Mortgage Brokers show.
Here it comes.
Okay.
I mean, I am genuinely interested to see like his facial reaction, because I have not examined like his facial like actual response and reaction yet. So I'm actually quite interested. This is actually a very interesting part here.
Is that you?
That's me.
Is that Todd Rogers?
That's Todd.
Who's the other gentleman there?
Don't know.
Okay. Is that the Donkey Kong arcade cabinet that you played on?
I wonder who the guy in the suit is.
It looks like it's it.
Success. Billy has confirmed that particular cabinet is the one he played on. There is no escaping now. Billy's demise is inevitable. This was critical because another point that Billy Mitchell defenders tried to use is that the cabinet in the photos was not the one that Billy actually played on.
It's just astounding to me. Like, I don't understand how you're gonna sit there in a video and claim that one specific part on the machine that, mind you, Billy didn't play. Billy did not play the machine that is in the photo.
Okay, Maris Memes. I don't know where Maris Memes got that information. There's a VCR on top of the arcade machine, and he's posing in front of it with his thumbs up. So I'm not sure how Maris Memes came to the conclusion that Billy did not play the machine. I've never said that. I've never once said Billy didn't play that machine. Those words never came out of my mouth. That to me, that wouldn't even make sense. I mean, why would you pose in front of it? And I mean, clearly, I mean, logically would tell you he clearly played the machine. My concern in my joystick video that I made a long time ago was it was a 4-way joystick. It wasn't an 8-way joystick, because for some reason everyone kept saying it was 8-way. Even though 8-way would, in my opinion, make the game harder, because then you would be putting wrong inputs, because if you go diagonal, it's going to register as nothing. So it would actually make the game harder, in my opinion. So it's really weird, and it makes no sense to me.
No. So you can't sit there and say that he played it, even if it's not the same machine. So the whole case, the whole thing that Carl's been sitting on and hinging is a photo of a cabinet that Billy didn't even fucking play on.
However, again, this is uninformed and misguided, because Billy had already testified that it was indeed the cabinet he used. Now it's time to put Billy out of his misery. The lawyer finally shows Billy the full cabinet in all of its red glory.
Here it is.
I'm now going to show you Exhibit H, another picture of Mr. Mitchell at the Florida Association of Mortgage Brokers. Do you see that there?
Yep.
Is that still the same cabinet that you played on?
Looks like he zoomed in.
That doesn't look like the joystick, though.
Was the joystick changed?
Not by me. Maybe in the photo.
So are you contending that photo was altered?
Oh, no, I'm not. I'm saying I don't remember the joystick being red. That's all.
Isn't it true, Mr. Mitchell, that you played that machine on an 8-way joystick?
No.
Billy reacts in a flurry of random off-the-cuff remarks, insinuating
Okay, so I feel like, you know, clearly this looks really bad for Billy to say, oh, it was black. And if it wasn't black, I would just walk away from it. And then he admits that he looks at the photo. And he's like, okay, yeah, this is the arcade machine that I played. And then they show the same arcade machine with the red joystick. It looks really bad. And I'll be the first one to admit, he clearly played the machine. red, black, purple, gray, white, whatever. Whatever the color the joystick is, clearly he played on that machine. That's probably the machine they provided at that time. It's not like he, packs his own Donkey Kong arcade cabinet to an event. Clearly that's what they had set up at the time. So he says he don't remember a black joystick. And to be fair, and again, I want this to be clear. I know for a fact he played that machine. In my personal opinion. These are all my opinions. Nothing I say is reflective on Billy at all. For some reason, a lot of people think that I'm the voice for Billy Mitchell. That's definitely not the case. Yeah, we're friends, but I'm entitled to my own opinions. But yeah, clearly, in my opinion, he played the machine. And yes, I believe it was with that red joystick, because that's probably what they provided at the time. I would assume that the original joystick was replaced many years ago because, like I said, parts wear out, and that's the joystick they decided to put in that at the time. So, and for Billy to say oh, it's a black joystick, and then all of a sudden he's caught red-handed and it's red. He could have. I mean, if you would ask me, Sean, 16 years ago when you played Pac-Man, what was the color of the joystick? I mean, clearly I'm going to say whatever the normal color of the joystick is, because that's what you would just assume. I mean, I don't know how you would expect anyone to remember a small detail like that, but nonetheless, needless to say, some of you guys probably didn't expect me to say this, but yeah, clearly he played on that arcade cabinet. I never said he didn't. I just said it was 4-way, not 8-way. And if it was 8-way, I think I read somewhere where people think with an 8-way joystick, you can somehow manipulate barrels while you're, going forward. So you could be Mario going forward and then still kind of manipulate the barrels by pressing the diagonal inputs or something like that. But I honestly don't. That don't make sense to me, because if you use a diagonal input, it's not going to register it as anything. So that makes no sense to me. Clearly, the game would be harder on an 8-way anyways. But all right, let's move on.
That this wasn't the joystick and that someone else had changed it. It's honestly ridiculous. But what is he supposed to do? Billy had utterly and completely trapped himself by his own lies about the stick being black to such an extent that there was nothing he could do to salvage the situation. And if you are expecting some kind of epic climax and gotcha moment from Twin Galaxies, you'll be disappointed. The point of depositions is just to get the admissions you want, and then the big dramatic moments come at trial in front of a jury. So at this point, they had gotten what they needed and they moved on. And if you think this kind of thing rattled Billy, you would also be disappointed. Lying to this guy is like breathing to you and I. Even after getting more exposed than I've seen anyone get exposed before, he just moves on like nothing ever happened and continues to lie for the next 4 hours. He is a lying machine, and he will not stop until every ounce of his dignity is dead. One final note, one of Billy Mitchell's biggest defenders on YouTube, Van Buren20, said something interesting in his video defending Billy. He said this.
He goes into detail and shows a picture of a red joystick saying it's not an official joystick, it's an 8-way cheater stick. And I'm telling you right now, it's a bunch of bullcrap. Do you know why these pictures exist, Carl? Let me just fill you in. The only reason why these these pictures exist, and they came out of nowhere, and you're like, oh, Billy didn't know about these pictures, and oh boy, is he going to be scared to see these photos. These photos just recently got released because Billy Thank you, Shade Man, for subscribing. Okay? Billy's lawyers subpoenaed that convention to get those pictures for evidence, which is why they exist now. Do you think they're going to release a photo if they thought it was going to hurt his case? Ask yourself that question. Are they going to go and subpoena for this photo? And then if it's going to hurt him? No, they're not.
The claim is that Billy knew about the photos and it was Billy that released them because they didn't hurt his case. But let's ask Billy if he had the photos. I mean, if anyone would know if Billy had the photos and knew about them, it would be Billy. Let's see what Billy says.
Do you have any photos of the mortgage brokers score?
No.
I'm sorry. Do you have any photos of you at the mortgage brokers convention?
No, I don't.
Do you have any photos of the Donkey Kong arcade machine?
I want you guys to hear that. I want you guys to hear that one more time, okay? He doesn't have the photos. His attorneys have the photo. And if you watch it again, I'm going to rewind it. He says, no, I don't. Like, he personally does not have the photos. Here, let's watch that again.
That you played there?
No,
Wait a minute.
Hold on, let me rewind that back.
I don't.
Do you have any photos of you at the mortgage brokers convention?
No, I don't.
Do you have any photos of
No,
the
I don't.
Donkey
He
Kong
doesn't.
arcade machine that you played there?
No.
Wait a minute. Billy says he didn't have any photos, but Van Buren just yelled at us, telling us that he did know about them and that he released them.
His lawyer
Is Van Buren
subpoenaed it from the
suggesting that Billy
convention.
knew about
That's
the
a
pictures,
fact.
gave them to Twin Galaxies, then said he didn't have any photos, and lied about what the photos
Billy don't
showed?
have them.
If true,
The lawyers
I
have
can't
them.
even be mad. That's an extremely impressive level of stupidity. The problem with Billy Mitchell's sycophants is that they don't yet realize that Billy is a pathological liar, so they'll just believe whatever he tells them and then repeat it confidently, not realizing they just end up looking like complete idiots. And unfortunately, they just don't know much about what's really going on. I'll let you know another secret. When I made that original video about the red joystick, I already knew what Billy said in his deposition. I already knew he testified the stick was black.
I remember it being black.
What if it was a red joystick? Would that be the machine you played on?
I remember it being black.
I already knew that Billy Mitchell said a red joystick would not be original hardware.
If it wasn't black, I wouldn't have played it.
Why is that?
Because the other joysticks are not real joysticks. They're not Donkey Kong joysticks.
They're not four-way joysticks?
They're not authentic joysticks.
I already knew that Billy had confirmed the cabinet in the photos was the one he played on.
It looks like it's it.
I already knew that Billy said he didn't have any photos himself.
Do you have any photos of the Donkey Kong arcade machine that you played there?
No.
As someone who is getting sued by Billy Mitchell, it is my duty to be informed about everything that is going on with Billy Mitchell.
Okay, with that comment right there makes no sense to me. Karl, yes, he's being sued by Billy Mitchell for something completely like off topic. Like it has nothing to do with high scores, has nothing to do with Donkey Kong, it has nothing to do with this. It is something completely way different than any of this. Like Karl is being sued because he pretty much accused Billy of Apollo Legends unfortunate suicide. So that's the problem with that. Like Karl is being sued for that and that alone. That is the only thing Karl is being sued for, mind you. For him to say I'm so invested in this Twin Galaxy case because I'm also a victim and I'm being sued too. You are being sued because you accused this guy of, making someone take their own life. Like that is what you're being sued for. Had you not said any of that, there would be no court case at all. Like, he would just be focusing on Twin Galaxies. But when you make that accusation about anybody, you're going to face repercussions. Honestly, that's just the fact. So like, it's just so weird that Karl would say, as a guy who's being sued by Billy Mitchell, it's my duty to be informed in all this. This has nothing to do with you at all. It doesn't at all. Like you're being sued because you said something you shouldn't have said. Then you edited your video and then you took it one step further and deleted the video. So, and that's the case. So it's really, really, really weird to me. So let's just finish this video. Then we'll talk for a few moments. I don't want to make this too long. So.
And it's shocking how confident people can be when they couldn't be more wrong. You might think my Billy Mitchell videos are pretty crazy, but truth be told, I barely scratched the surface of Billy's antics. I can assure you, you still have no idea just how insane Billy is. Most people don't even realize that people like Billy Mitchell could exist. They don't appreciate that pathological liars are a real thing. And it is my duty to enlighten you as to how dishonest people can be. When more people wake up, we will all be better off. Thank you so much for watching, you legends. I hope you are having a fantastic
All right, so there's that. Let me go ahead and just go full screen here. Okay. All right, so here we are. Final thoughts. Well, Billy clearly played on that machine. I was uncertain, but now clearly through the deposition and everything, I fully 100% believe he played on that machine. So I'm not arguing or disagreeing with that at all. I believe 100% he played on that machine. It was 16, 17 years ago. So for him to think it was a black joystick, to me, I don't see how that's unbelievable, because 16, 17 years ago, we're talking about a couple of decades here. How are you to remember what color the joystick is? That's what I don't understand. How are you to remember that? And I honestly don't even think this joystick has any merit in the case to begin with. So I don't think the joystick is even going to matter. But just rest assured, I want you guys to know that I'm definitely going to be, I definitely am going to be making a final video once the court case is finished. So that's probably the only other Billy Mitchell video I'm going to make, is when everything comes to a conclusion and we get a verdict and all that stuff. So clearly I will make a video about that. I'm probably not going to do what Karl is doing. I mean, Karl clearly has like multiple videos he's going to keep releasing throughout the next month or so, because it sounds like he's not even done yet. He said we just scratched the surface and there's all kinds of stuff he wants to show. So, and honestly, as a content creator, he knows Billy Mitchell videos are going to get views. So he's doing it because that's his job, I guess. But I don't know. So like, yeah, clearly he played the machine. I think he honestly just thought it was black, because that is the original black color is black. So how is he to know that it's red? But the one thing he did say that I will say that, the lawyers did trip him up a lot. The Twin Galaxies lawyers did a good job setting that question up, because they even got him to say stuff like, if it was black, I would just walk away from it. I wouldn't even play it. If it was black, I wouldn't even play it. So that, to me, that statement by Billy was a pretty, damning statement, honestly. If he's this, because he says on camera, if it was black, I would walk away. Clearly it wasn't black, it was red, and he still played it. But to say, it was 2 decades ago, so he could have easily forgot. So, yes, it makes him look really bad there, but it is what it is. And to me, I don't think the joystick's really going to matter in the case. But that's it. And then as far as me saying, because this is the one thing people are going to want to know, because he's got me saying that Billy subpoenaed those photos, and Billy saying he's never had those photos. Well, I guess I misspoke, and I guess I will take the L on that one. I'm man enough to admit when I'm wrong. It was his attorneys that subpoenaed the photos. So Billy never even had them in his possession. You can clearly say, if you watch the video back, I'm not going to play it again, but like, if you watch it back, when he, if they ask him if he has any of those photos, he says, I don't have any of those photos, so he's, to me, that's asserting that like he don't have them, but somebody else does. And that would be his lawyers. So that's my take on the situation. I know no one, I understand the whole Billy Mitchell drama, and I understand how a lot of people don't care for the guy. I get it. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion, and it is what it is. I respect everyone's opinion. I just wish people would respect mine. I knew when I first made that video, I was probably going to receive a ton of hate. Definitely did not expect Karl to put me in his video. He's usually not the one to try to give attention to smaller content creators. So I will say this, I enjoy the attention I'm getting, even though it's negative attention. It is what it is. Publicity is publicity. I really don't care. I'm kind of used to it at this point, if I'm being completely honest. But yeah, there's that. So that's been my take on it. I don't want to ramble on too much longer. I watched the entire video. Yes, I know everyone's been sending me messages, dude. Oh my God, my Twitter is ridiculous. Yes, I watched it, everybody. I watched it. I responded to it. There you go. Hopefully you guys, hopefully, you know, it was what you were looking for. Probably not. You probably didn't expect me to, you know, agree on certain points in the deposition. That they, you know, I agree. I agree he played it. You know, for some reason, people are sending me messages saying, that I'm saying he'd never played on that machine. I never said that. Apparently, Maris Memes, the other guy that he showed in the video, apparently he said that, and I think people are getting me and that guy mixed or confused or something like that, because I never once said he never played on the machine. I just said that it was a 4-way, not an 8-way. And honestly, if truth be told, and hey, I'm a real guy here. I'm not like you know, I'm not an expert. Let's put it this way. In my opinion, it's a 4-way. Is there evidence that it's 4-way or 8? There's no evidence at all. You know, that's the problem. Like, there's no hard evidence that shows whether it's 8 or 4. Like, there's not, I mean, there is no evidence. So it's hard to say. I mean, could it be an 8-way? Who knows? I didn't install it, you know, but in my opinion, like I said, these are all my opinions. They're not Billy Mitchell's, they're mine. So there's that. And then, yeah, that's it. That's pretty much all for right now, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this reaction. I'm sure once it's done going live, it's going to get bombarded with a bunch of comments. A lot of people want me to turn the comments off, but I'm not doing that. And before I end the live stream, I want people to know that there's a lot of people telling me that I'm deleting comments in my videos. I'm not deleting anything. I could actually show you, like in YouTube Studio, some comments get flagged and held for review by YouTube, and I actually have to go in and like unflag them. Like YouTube actually.
You did better than Maris Meme. He wouldn't watch the video. Enjoyed your reaction.
Thank you, Timmy. I appreciate that. I did better than Maris Memes. I don't really know how Maris Memes did. I didn't really watch too much of his stuff, but yeah, why would you not watch the video? I mean, I'm open to anything. I clearly, you know, if I don't want to hide from the truth. You know, clearly, if there's credible evidence, I want to, you know, watch it, see it, react to it. I'm not an idiot. A lot of, you know, here's the thing. Everyone's like, oh man, you're a simp for Billy. Oh my God, you're such a simp. You know, you kiss his ass, blah, 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 blah. No. Yes, clearly I'm a Billy fan. I'm allowed to be a fan of someone. I don't simp for him. You know, I met him years ago and we have kept in contact ever since, and it's been a good friendship. You know, it's been a lot of fun being Billy's friend. So that's not being a simp. Clearly, I mean, if you can rewatch my reaction to the video, you know, go back, rewatch what I just reacted to. I don't think I said anything crazy or out of line or you know, not logical. So that's what I don't understand. I agree 100% that he probably played that machine. I believe, again, these are my opinions. I believe he played on that machine. There's evidence and pictures to prove it. I believe, I mean, if you can't remember something you did 2 decades ago, man, it's hard to remember that. So he assumed it was black because an official joystick is black. So he's going to say black. He just assumed it was. Clearly it wasn't. The arcade machine that they brought that day, you know, he didn't bring his own arcade machine. I don't know if you guys know how this works, but when you go play at an event like that, you don't like bring your own stuff like that. You don't bring your own. He's not like he has a big backpack with like an arcade machine on it, you know. So clearly that the original joystick was replaced because it probably wore out like most arcade machines do, and they replaced it with the red one. So it's not really his fault, you know. It's not like he brought his own joystick and then had a technician install it before he played. But regardless, I don't think the joystick it really matters at all in the lawsuit to begin with. So I feel like it's just kind of beating a dead horse at this point. So, but that's that, guys. I want to thank you. Who was that? Who gave the? I can't go back, but whoever donated the $5, I definitely do appreciate it. And you know, like I said, if Karl uploads another video, with crazy things in it. I'll probably watch it. I'm probably not going to react to it. I only reacted to this one because he put me in it, and everyone was like, "You have to." Timmy donated. Okay, I got the chat right here. Thank you. I am looking at the chat now, by the way. Thank you. Okay. It looks like, holy crap. Let me scroll through because I have not been looking at this. A lot of people are deleting things. Again, I'm not deleting it. It looks like my mods are deleting it. So I don't want people thinking I'm doing that. It's definitely not me. But I'm all about like free speech. Say what you want. I really don't care. It doesn't hurt my feelings, honestly. I've kind of heard it all at this point. I've been doing YouTube for over 10 years, so it doesn't really bother me. Now that I am reading the chat, everyone should join us for Mario Kart tournaments. That's funny. I don't think they're here for Mario Kart tournaments, but but hey, we do Mario Kart tournaments. Your mods are doing a good job deleting nonsense. Yeah, I see that. Like, I can't see the message. It just says like there's a bunch of like deleted by the mod. So I guess if they're really, really bad, thank you for doing your job. I appreciate it. But me personally, I only delete messages. And if my mods are listening, I want you to hear this. If someone writes like a criticizing comment, criticizing me about something, don't delete it. Let it flow, let it go. I don't care. Now, if they're like using very vulgar language and they're disrespecting, like saying something bad about like about my family or something where they cross a line, clearly delete it and ban them. But as far as like open communication and like comments and criticism, I will never delete any of that stuff. So okay, I am going to start reading some comments. So here we go. I get you're friends with him, but facts are facts. And Immortal, I did say that I agree he probably played the machine. Whether Billy is upset with me or not for saying that, I don't care. In my opinion, he played on that machine. But also on that account, in my opinion, I feel like he probably... I mean, how are you supposed to remember? I mean, seriously, do you remember what you did 16 years ago? Like if I said, okay, that machine you played on 16 years ago, what color was the joystick, man? I mean, you're just going to assume it's the default color. You're not going to... I mean, can we at least give me that credit? I feel like, I mean, it's hard to remember something like that. Let's see. So if he played on the machine, then his record is invalid. Yeah. Well, they actually put it in. I mean, whoever organized the event, it's not his fault. Billy didn't install the joystick himself. Clearly, you don't come bringing your own joysticks. If that's the machine that they had at that event, and then it was recognized by Twin Galaxies or whatever, and it was authenticated and they put it in, I mean, it's not Billy's fault that the joystick was red. The one thing I will say that really bothers me with the Billy Mitchell stuff is there's a lot of people out there right now that think Billy's like a fraud and a cheater and he can't even pull off these high scores. And he's never done it, because that's what they said at first. They said, oh, he played on like an emulator or something, and these high scores were never put up. Well, then all of a sudden he goes on Twitch and he starts live streaming at an actual arcade. He doesn't live stream from his home. He goes to an actual arcade, shows the machine. It's not even his machine. It's a public arcade. And he's live streaming in front of hundreds of live viewers. And he gets his high score. Like he actually repeats the high score that people claim he cannot achieve. And then they keep moving the goalposts, like he did that. And then like, they're like, oh, he can only get that high score because now he's using certain strategies that he's learned from the newer players, or they say like all kinds of things like now it's a joystick, so we got to do this. Like if we can't recognize at this point that Billy Mitchell actually has talent and can actually pull off these scores, I don't really know what your research has been, because he's done it multiple times on Twitch. I mean, I've seen it done live. So there's actually people who think, it's funny. There's actually people who think he can't even play the game, which is like, it's like, that's how far this this has gone, you know, the slander on Billy. That's how far it has taken. Someone says they never doubted their capability. Yes, they have. Yes, they have. I disagree. I disagree because they definitely have. I can't tell you how many comments I've gotten where people saying that Billy, like, that wasn't even Billy playing. Like, the videos that he submitted, like, that's not even him playing. Or, like, even when he was live streaming, it's showing his hands playing and everything. And they're like, that's not him playing. It's like, are you serious, man? Like, come on. Like, really? Like, it's so weird. Someone says, why do you slander Karl Jobst? I don't know what you mean by slander. The facts are the facts. He uploaded a video. I know you can't see it now because he deleted it. He did upload a video. The facts are the facts. And he accused Billy Mitchell of driving Apollo Legend to his own death. And then in Billy's words, because Billy did make a response video to it, I put it in a link to my my last video. Billy said, you might as well just say I murdered him, which is kind of the fact, kind of the same. And then I will say someone kind of, you know, made me laugh. I was at work and I saw a comment that said, okay, he didn't accuse him of murder. He basically accused him of manslaughter. Okay. Sorry, manslaughter. You accused him of manslaughter. It's like, wow, man. Someone says mods are deleting a lot more than just nasty stuff. Well, I wish they wouldn't. That is not approved by me. So mods, if you are deleting things that are not nasty, please stop. So, guys, the chat, it's hard to keep up with the chat when I'm talking. So I apologize for that. Let's see. Even if he's capable now, that doesn't change the accusations of him cheating in the past, though, right? That's a whole other can of worms. I don't think he ever cheated. Like I said, if he ever played on like an arcade machine that like this red joystick, for instance, that's like out of his control. Like he showed up to an event and that's the machine that was in front of him that they gave him. What is he supposed to do? Sorry guys, look, we need another arcade machine. Call somebody. Hey, like phone a friend. Get this arcade machine out of here. We need another one. Like, I mean, it doesn't really work that way. You know, people are at that event for something and he's going to perform. He's not going to just, I mean, I don't know. Like that's so another thing, and correct me if I'm wrong, and I'm going to have to fact check this myself. They originally said that he played on an emulator. If you guys remember that at the very, very beginning, the claim was he played on an emulator. But back then, during that time period, way back then, the emulator, there was even the model number, like the actual version of the emulator that they say, because there's multiple different versions now. The version emulator that they claim he played on didn't even like exist back then. I'm pretty sure I did that research back then, and again, I'm not an expert, so if I'm misspeaking, I apologize. But that. Again, I'm pretty sure that's the case, which is like, I don't understand. You're accusing him of playing on an emulator that didn't even exist at the time. Jacob said it did exist back then. I'm going to have to look it up again because I could have sworn I looked it up and the years did not match. But again, Jacob, I'm not an expert. You know what I'm saying? I never claimed to be one. Wouldn't the referee in the pick have looked over the equipment or somebody who was there to validate any records? That's what I'm saying. It was all validated. Twin Galaxies put it in the data books. I mean, they're the one who put it in the. It's not like Billy Mitchell held a gun to their head and said, "Hey, put it in. Put my record in. I don't care that the joystick was red." No, that never happened. Pictures were taken. Clearly, there's a photo of the red joystick. Clearly, it was submitted, and it's like Billy's not putting his own scores in the database. I mean, I don't get it, but yeah, I mean, that's that. I mean, like I said, I'm not, people, I've been getting messages all day of people saying, oh my God, you're finished. You're stupid. You're horrible. Call me every name in the book, dude. Like, I mean, the comments I received today were like next level. Like, I mean, guys, don't get me wrong. I love you. I respect you. I respect everyone's opinions. But man, some of these comments, dude, like, come on, man. Like there's a line and like a lot of people are crossing it. I know they do it for like shock factor and stuff, or maybe they're just really invested into this story and they're really they really are pissed with my opinion. But that's the beauty about America. We can all have different opinions. The hate is like insane. You know what I'm saying? If you seem to have your you seem to have your head in the sand too. Don't really know what that means. Jacob, I'll read this one. For context, the reason Billy says that version didn't exist yet was because he was checking the default settings on those versions. If you change the settings, you can make it look like the tapes. I have no clue. All that stuff's over my head. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not a very technologically advanced guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know nothing about emulators and MAME and all that stuff. I have no clue. I'm not an expert. Never claimed to be one. That's the alarming stuff. It's a group of frauds. Billy Mitchell, Day, Todd Rogers, the other guy with the nice suit, Triforce. Walter Day, I don't know how you can, like, I don't understand. Like, you're trying to put a group of people, and I know you say Walter Day because he was the founder of Twin Galaxies. So, like, without Walter Day, he's like the grandfather of esports. Like, without Walter Day, there would be no world records for video games. He's like the guy who started it all. I mean, I don't know if you guys know that. If you watch Wreck-It Ralph, they actually have a cameo of Walter Day, like the guy who runs the arcade. In Wreck-It Ralph is that old guy with the referee shirt. That's a throwback to Walter Day because that's how much respect people have for him. So I find it kind of disgusting that you're like putting this sweet old guy who is like the grandfather of esports. He's the guy who started keeping like track of records. He thought it was something historic that he should do, would keep track of records. And without him, it would have never happened. So you really have to give Walter Day a lot of respect, in my opinion, because without him, there would be no like competitive gaming, in my opinion. There would be no competitive gaming. Do you think Billy is doing more to hurt his reputation than improve it with all his lawsuits? I don't think you can do much more to hurt his reputation because I would think at this point, I mean, judging by all the comments that I receive and the press and all and everything else, what else? I mean, how could he hurt it anymore? You know what I'm saying? Like, people have already, have this image of him in their head, and I don't think no matter what you say or do is going to change that. So no, I don't think. I think it's already. I think his reputation is already ruined. People already hate him, and they're going to continue to hate him. That's the case. If you're not an expert on emulation or hardware with the case, why are you making statements about it? That's my opinion. I mean, I'm entitled to it. That's like, like you're entitled to your opinion. I did do some research. I'm not an expert, but I did look up some things, and, I've talked to a lot of people, and, those are just my opinions. Like I said, you're entitled to yours. I'm entitled to mine. The lawsuits don't help, Melissa says. Well, one would have to agree, but like I kind of don't. I mean, blaming someone for driving someone to suicide is crossing the line. I mean, it really is. It's kind of crossing the line. Me personally, I guess I'm in a different spot because I'm not a wealthy man, so I can't afford to go to court over anything, especially over like, something like that. So yeah, I couldn't do it. I don't have the means to do it. And honestly, if we're being completely honest, and this is my personal opinion right now, and like I said, I'm an open book. If you want my honest opinion, the whole situation, like the fact that it's gotten blown up this big, like seriously, like this is crazy. All over a video game. It's insane to me. It isn't, and that's one thing that that is one thing that I think the judge might actually be like, because if I'm the judge and I'm looking at all this, the judge has to be sitting there and this is a reason too why Billy might lose the lawsuit. Unfortunately, is if the judge is sitting there, he might be like, I can't believe we're doing all this over some high scores and stuff like that. And the judge might just dismiss the case. They might be like, you know what, dude, like dismiss the case. You know, who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? It is very interesting to see what's going to happen. It's going to, you know, so I will be following up and making a final video once the, you know, the verdict is out. But who knows? He seems delusional about the situation. I don't know if you're talking about me or Billy, but I know the situation very well. I know exactly what's going on. So it's sad seeing him disregard facts and saying he doesn't know anything about the tech. Well, I don't know what you mean by the facts. I don't know what you mean by the facts. A lot of stuff's taken out of context as well. And like the facts that we were shown in the deposition, clearly he played on the arcade machine. You know, whether he did or not, Billy can say he didn't play on it, but a jury would be like, yeah, he played on that machine. I believe he played on that machine, and I'm not saying he didn't. So like when it comes to, you know, actual hardcore facts like that, I mean, I'm not going to like say something didn't happen when it did happen. That's Billy's fault. VB, he started the whole thing. Most cheaters don't admit their faults. Billy sues when he gets caught. Well, no, here's the thing. The main reason why Billy sued Twin Galaxies is, I mean, Billy Mitchell, he goes to conventions. He goes to a lot of places, and like the Billy Mitchell character is like, and it is a character for those of you that do not know. The Billy Mitchell character is a cocky, arrogant, like arcade master. That's like the Billy Mitchell character. Okay. Like his shit don't stink, you know, walks around like his shit don't stink. That is the Billy Mitchell character. But believe it or not, there is Bill who is behind the Billy Mitchell character, who is like, you know, a completely different person that unfortunately a lot of you guys probably never going to meet. But yeah, so he's made a lot of money off that image, off that, you know, Billy Mitchell image. So the fact that Twin Galaxies is trying to take all that away and be like, oh, none of this ever happened. These, you know, he's a cheater, blah, 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 blah. It, you know, that's going to sting, and he's going to want to get his reputation back by suing Twin Galaxies, which in turn just brought more attention to everything else. And now, you know, like now everybody hates Billy. So it's like, you know, it is what it is. I mean, that's my whole take on the whole situation. So just so you guys know, it's easier to fool somebody than to convince them when they've been fooled. I haven't been fooled of anything. So now it's not trivial. It's what you're saying. I have no clue what you mean by that. Yeah, but he does it at expense of honest players like Steve Wiebe. Steve Wiebe. See, I don't understand like the Steve Wiebe nonsense, because here's the thing. A lot of people may not know this, but the King of Kong documentary, Billy Mitchell didn't even have the high score when that movie, like during that time period. Somebody else had the high score. He actually comments on my videos every once in a while. What is his name? There's somebody else that they did not put in the King of Kong. He had a higher score than Bill Mitchell. But they wanted it to be about, like, they wanted the rivalry to be between Billy Mitchell and Steve Wiebe for whatever reason. Is it Tim Servey? I'm not sure. I'm not sure if that's the guy. I don't know. I'm sure somebody's going to tell me after I upload this video. But yeah, that guy actually had a higher score. But, you know, the King of Kong is actually like a movie for entertainment. It's not real. I know a lot of you guys don't want to believe that, but like it's not real. Like, yes, there's some real aspects to it, but there's a lot of fake things thrown in for entertainment value and shock value. So yeah, so that's a lot of people. It's so weird to me that people take the King of Kong documentary and they're like, dude, this is like a historic, like, piece of, like, you know, that's not facts, man. Like, he didn't even have the world record back then. That's the funny thing. It's like let that sink in for those of you that do not know, because I'm sure there's a lot of people that don't even know this. But Billy Mitchell in the King of Kong documentary that a lot of people know Billy from, during that time period, Billy Mitchell didn't even have the world record. Somebody else did. But they decided to go with Billy Mitchell instead, because he's just better on TV, baby. He's just has more charisma. You know what I mean? Like, he's just, it plays a better story. You know what I mean? Like, it's a story, it's entertainment, it's Hollywood. That's what it is. You know what I mean? Like, Can't you give Carl's videos the same treatment as the movie? I thought I give Carl's video that I just watched. I thought I was very honest about it. We just watched it. You can play it back if you want later. After I end this live stream, I'm not going to delete it. I'll keep it up. I ain't scared. I don't regret anything I said. I think it was an honest review of the video. I agree with the evidence. I agree that Billy probably played the arcade machine. I think maybe he didn't know it was red because, like I said, it was a long time ago. But yeah, I think I handled the video well. I mean, I'm sure I'm still going to get a ton of hate, but that comes with the territory. If you know Billy in a nice way, if you're friends with Billy at all, you're going to get hate. That's just the way it is now. So it is what it is. Yeah, you were pretty fair and objective. Well, thank you, Jag. I appreciate that. I would hope people would think so because like I've responded to everything. Like I said, the whole Billy claiming he never had the photos. He never did have the photos. Those were in possession of his attorneys. And again, this is my opinion from what I know, okay? And what was told to me by other people that are very close to the situation, okay? These are my opinions, okay? I don't want people thinking like, oh my God, he's speaking for Billy because I'm not. But yeah, and if you, like I said, if you watch it back, he even says, I don't have them, because like of course his attorneys did. And when you're doing a case like that, I mean, when you're in a big lawsuit like this, of course your attorneys are going to a subpoena for the photos. Of course you're going to want to see the photos. So like, you know what I mean? Like you're going to want to see the photos. So, Billy is an underrated low. I don't know what you mean by that. About the King of Kong thing, you said it's entertainment. Please define what documentary means. Well, here's the thing. This is a documentary, but it's like reality TV. Like they add things in that are not real. Like the fact that Billy Mitchell wasn't even the King of Kong back then. Somebody else had a higher score. Like Billy, like technically should not even been in the movie. If you want to get technical, you know what I'm saying? Like they cut somebody out of the movie. I don't think you guys are understanding that. So like, yes, there are some true things that happen in the King of Kong, like any other reality show. And then there's things added in for entertainment value. They used Billy Mitchell because like he clearly plays a very good villain. I mean, everyone hates the guy. Okay. Everyone hates the guy. Let's see. There's someone on the internet who's mocking. Okay, Jacob. Okay, I see it now. You don't know anything about tech, and you keep saying, I believe, but I believe. Isn't facts. Brother, you are sounding ridiculous. Well, I'm sorry you feel that way. Immortal. I'm sorry you feel that way. But thank you for being here and listening to my opinion. I do appreciate that. But yeah. Do you believe Billy deserves the title Video Game Player of the Century? Why not? Of the century. That century was like centuries, like I don't understand like what. Oh God, don't get me started on that, because that rubbed me the wrong way. Karl accusing Billy of making his own plaque, like it just seems so ridiculous to me. I'm not going to repeat because I made a whole video about it. If you want to, you can just watch the video. But yeah, why not? I mean, he's the first person, and this has nothing to do with Donkey Kong. This was Pac-Man, and I will say this confidently that no one can deny Billy's skill in Pac-Man. I mean, you can tell him to perform a perfect Pac-Man tomorrow, and he will perform a perfect Pac-Man tomorrow. He's done it so many times. He's done it a lot. And he's done it time and time again. So he's one of the only people I know in the world that you can say, go perform a perfect Pac-Man, and he can do it like on command. So, I mean, you can't really take that away from him. I think there's other games that could define you as video game player of the century. Hey, you know what I'm saying? Hey, that's just what Namco did. It was a press release. It was trying to get, hype up Pac-Man. And it was just something special to do for the moment. So I'll be honest, if somebody did that to me and gave me, a player of the century award or something like that, I'd be saying it all the time too, just because it sounds cool, I guess. And for those that do not know, I am the player of the century in Mario Kart, okay? We already know this. You guys already know it. If you've already played with me, you already know. But yeah, so there's that. Then they should have given him Pac-Man player of the century. You know, I'm not Namco. You know what I mean? That's just what Namco wanted to do, you know? Billy did something historic. He did something no one has ever done, you know? And there's people that claim that they did a perfect Pac-Man before him, but he's the first one recognized for it. I mean, if you didn't go, to an event and showcase your skills in front of the world before him, then that's on you, because there are people out there that say, oh, there's a couple people that performed a perfect Pac-Man before Billy. But I mean, if that's the case, why didn't they hold a press release or, do something like Billy's the first one on record and proof in, showing gameplay to perform a perfect Pac-Man. I mean, it is what it is. And he didn't cheat either. I mean, Pac-Man is one thing you can't take away from Billy. I promise you that right now. I mean, he calls himself Billy Pac-Man for a reason. I mean, he's the king of Pac-Man, but that's not what this is about. So, all right. So we're going to end it there, guys. I've been babbling on for far too long. They got way too long. It's only like a 20-minute video. And somehow I've been talking for an hour and 10 minutes. Thank you to whoever donated earlier. Thank you for the couple people who subscribed while I was here. And I definitely do appreciate it. And that's pretty much all for right now, guys. And as always, there'll be more to come shortly, guys.